Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you can support the channel via Cash App or you can hit the heart button up under the video and definitely support the channel. Now, I got some grim details on what happened in the mystical situation. Of course, um, this would be the third time, of that we know of, of mystical actually getting charges of this nature. But reports have emerged of what happened or what allegedly happened. I'll say that with him and the young lady, and I think I tried to tell you all when I heard that there was some type of domestic situation. I knew that evidently he must have had some type of relationship with the young lady. But regardless to whether it was an intimate relationship or it had not been an intimate relationship, um, if that happened, and that's if, because I wasn't there, it should not have happened. Of course, I can't be the judge of that because, like I said, I was not there. But there are some details of what happened. Now, since it's consistently happening, or there seems to be a consistent pattern of being accused of this, people are more prone to believe that what is being said is true, right? People, tend to believe that. So as I was saying before, either he's having a lot of bad luck, okay? Either he's having a lot of bad luck or he's sick, you know. Like I said, I can't be the judge of that. I just know that there that we know 3 times that it that he has been accused of this. Um I can't exempt him for that just because I like some of his music. He's had a lot of music. He was one of the stars over there at No Limit. But just because somebody's music is good, it has nothing to do with their character because we really don't know them. So you know, let's see here. Um, let me read to you all the details according to reports published by the Advocate on Tuesday, August the 2nd. Mystical born Michael Tyler is accused of assaulting the alleged victim following a dispute over money. Sheriff's detectives Garrett Keith testified during a bond hearing the same day. The incident occurred on July 30th at the home of the rapper in Prairieville, Louisiana. The victim, who Mystical's lawyer says has been in a long term relationship with, of course, before I read that, I think I said that there was probably some type of relationship, of some type of intimate relationship, which means nothing because no is no, right? With the former No Limit artist claims that Mystical got angry after concluding that she took money from him. Now, before I go any further, if you go back to the first situation that happened back in, I think it was 2003, he says that the hairstylist stole money from him. And instead of him, just filing charges on it, he said that she stole some checks from him. Now, how a hairstylist would get close enough to him to be able to steal checks, it led me to believe that maybe there was some type of intimate relationship going on there. I don't know. It could not have been. It could have just been close friends or something like that. Um, but in that situation, he accused her of stealing from him. And back in 2003, instead of him going and reporting, filing a police report or whatever, contacting the bank as normal people would do, he actually told her, if you don't want me to do that, you got to pleasure me. Get on your knees and pleasure me. And not only do you have to pleasure me, you got to pleasure my 2 bodyguards. So that was humiliating and demeaning on so many levels. It was sick on a whole nother level. And that's she did it. She was probably in fear of her life. You know what I mean? You have to think about, people say, well, why did she do it? We don't know what. I'm sure there was some type of intimidation there, not just going to jail. You talking about two bodyguards and him. She didn't know what they was going to do to her, so she probably did it because she was in survival mode, right? There was some type of coercion, especially if you're in fear of your life, right? So after she did that, she went and filed charges on him, and his ass went to jail, right? But this, okay, so I was just making a connection back in 2003 because there's been one in the middle of that, child. And now, okay, and I'm not saying he's guilty because he hadn't been proven guilty, right? But it says the victim, who Mystikal's lawyer says has been in a long-term relationship with the former No Limit artist, claims Mystikal got angry after concluding that she took money from him. As a result, he reportedly punched, choked, and pulled out the woman's hair. He then allegedly stopped her from leaving the home by taking her keys and cell phone. Okay. Keith says the woman tried to help Mystikal find the money, $100, according to All Hip Hop. So he done did all this about $100. We'll talk about that in a minute. And instead, she discovered a crystalline substance in his dresser, Xanax, heroin, and marijuana. Marijuana was also later discovered in the home by the police officer's child. They be on that stuff. Following the victim's beating, let me go on down some. She claims Mystikal alternated from being angry to remorseful for his actions against her. He prayed with her and splashed her with rubbing alcohol to cleanse her bad spirits before forcing her onto a bed and the R word her. After leaving the home, the victim went to a local hospital where a R kit was administered. Medical staff found that her injuries were consistent with her claims. Detectives also found clumps of the woman's hair and a broken fingernail in Mystikal's home. Mystikal was arrested on July 31st and initially charged with 2 misdemeanors: simple criminal damage to property and false imprisonment. He was also charged with 3 felonies, including domestic abuse, battery by strangulation, simple robbery, and first degree, the R word. Now, I wasn't there, you know, but let me just say this. The authorities said that there was some consistency with what the young lady said. Evidently, there was some type of abuse. There was some type of struggle that went on. We weren't there, you know. But if all of this went on, it's when people are on drugs, they found drugs in his home. When they on stuff like that, they have 4, 5, 6 different personalities. Okay. And for him to do her like that and then turn around and get the hollering and praying and slanging all kinds of water or bless oil everywhere, it goes to show that if that's true, he's probably got different drugs, different personalities. But it does not excuse anything. If this stuff is true, that just proves that there's some type of sickness there. First of all, it seems that it all starts with that. If that's true, that demon comes up and accuses the women of money. I know that man probably $100 ain't nothing to him. I'm sure he's still getting some royalties. He still do shows and stuff too. So $100 will be nothing to him, and to carry on like that. And I don't know if she's on it too, because normally when people birds of a feather flock together, she probably told those officers where to go find this stuff because she hidden on something. And I'm not trying to be accusatory of the victim. I'm just saying, but $100, and I'm sure that was not the first time that she had seen behavior like that from him. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say that. I don't want to be accusatory and say that she had seen it. Maybe not, because she ran to the hospital and then she went and filed charges on him, and then to proceed on, and it always ends in some type of sexual assault. And I think that's what's got people's eyebrows up, you know, with these with these women. When there are issues, it always ends in some type of sexual assault, you know. And that's why I say, either, when people say, well, they just had been trying to set him up. Well, why would they want to set him up? Let me just say that, because and it's not abnormal. Now, back in 2003, when he was at his heights, I think No Limit was still at their height back in 2003. I would say, yeah, it was in Louisiana. That was around that time that they were still trying to, those authorities around there, they were still trying to line up Master P, because it was him that they was after, right? But there was issues. When you hear Mystikal talk about what happened with that young lady back in 2003, he said, when you do the crime, you got to do the time. Okay. I hate when my phone ring and I can't find it. And he was just grateful to get it behind him. Okay. So, I mean, when he got out, he really didn't deny it, that it happened. He was just happy to be out and he wanted to move on with his life. Most people, when they're innocent, they will maintain their innocence. They ain't gonna say, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you do the crime, you gotta do the time. I just want to move on with my life. Mm-mm. If somebody accused me, it ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna say that. I'm talking about that when that was back in 2003. I think he did 5 or 6 years, I think. And then in 2017, there was some issues that went on with the exact same charge, and it was thrown out. It was thrown out. So that's and then this happened. So when people say, well, it was thrown out, that means they might have been lying. No, it was dropped or something. No, maybe the person felt like, just didn't want to go through with it. Sometimes people, you have to understand, they don't want to go through the hassles of stuff. They just want it to be over with and go on with their life. And then who knows? They could have been, sometimes people's, they can be bought off. It don't mean it didn't happen. It just means that they don't want to go through the legal system. Give me my money for my suffering and I'm gone. It don't mean it didn't happen. But let's just say that none of it happened. All of these things are lies. Okay, well, maybe he's having a stroke of bad luck. So he keeps getting the same types of women that like to put these charges on him. So then there's something wrong there. He needs to make better choices with women that's not going to put the same charges on him and things of that nature. But then the bruises and stuff was consistent. She had bruises and stuff on her hair. The plugs and stuff he pulled all up out her head was there at the house. Her fingernails and stuff that I guess where she was fighting or something, it was there. And then they found the drugs. So I'm just and I hate to say this because I don't know. He's guilty. I was going to say he's guilty until proven innocent. He's innocent until proven guilty. But it seems to be a pattern from the naked eye. Just from the naked eye now, it seems to be a pattern. And it appears that somebody might need some help there. Some psychological help. Especially, with the events that went on allegedly surrounding that. He gets mad at her about $100. And the reason I keep going back to that $100 because I know $100 is nothing to him, and I know we don't like for people to violate us, and I can't say what's minute and what's not because I don't like being violated, and stealing and doing things of that nature is a violation. But it seems like it always starts with some money, you know. You know, and I'm not trying to be sadistic or anything like that, but i- if there is a sickness there, maybe that demon tells him, you know, or motive, kind of get in his ear, and that's what triggered that thing to come up. Because you got when stuff like this happen, I'm talking about when there's a pattern of stuff like this. I'm talking about just from anybody when they're sick, when they like to sexually assault women. Um, you know, um, Yeah, I was getting ready to say something. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to say it. But you know, the thing about it is Mystical, even though he was hot back in 2003, he was hot. He didn't. You talk about somebody that's, and he was a star. He was mainstream, so he could have had any woman that he wanted to, even back then. He's even still got people still remember him now. He's still got he's not at a high celebrity status, but he's still at like a medium. He's still recognizable. People still bump to his music. So he still ain't, wouldn't need to do anything like that. That's why I say if that is happening, and there's a consistent pattern of it, it appears. We do know that he did jail time one time. Then there has to be a sickness there because they'll you got some of these folks will drop it just because he had a hit danger. Oh, he had a hit danger, you know, a few $100s, they'll drop it. And for just for bragging rights, girl, he had a hit, back in 2003. And I'm just saying, there are different types. There are people out there that do stuff like that, and I'm sure he's come across all types of women, because and groupies and stuff, because that's what happens with these celebrities. So for there to be a consistent pattern of taking it, that means that there has to be a sickness if with it consistently being a pattern of it happening. Especially with the events that allegedly went on, child. I was just, I said, Lord have mercy. He done beat the woman up and all that allegedly, and then turned around and told her she had devils on her, and who knows? We don't know her. She could, since he felt like he needed to get out the blessed soil after had beat the hell out of her, allegedly. You know, um, I don't know, but the police said that there was drugs found, and with the type of drugs that was found in his house, they run them. They have them batshit. They have them crazy for real. Xanax, heroin, and this marijuana ain't right no more either. It's not a herb. It's a chemical. Okay, so who's to say he's not taking all that together? But child, I just pray, if this is what's going on, I pray for some healing for the young brother. Well, he ain't that young. He in his 50s. I pray for some healing though. He's young enough, um, mentally, because this right here is ridiculous. So, and if it's not true, although they said the young lady had bruises and stuff on her and all of that, you know, hey, I just I feel bad for the victim because she is the victim. You know, yeah. Hopefully they can get it together, and hopefully, if there is a consistent pattern of him doing this, of course he would need to. I feel like he should be jailed again, and he should get himself some help if this is true. He has not been convicted of it, so I don't know. I have to say allegedly. I have to say allegedly. You know. But anyways, y'all, it's some weird stuff that go on in our world. You know, I'm telling you, it's a lot of weird stuff. The truth is stranger than fiction, oftentimes. Um, but I do know with him, and we all know there seems to be a consistent pattern. And just because it was supposedly somebody that he was dating, it does not make it right. He never should have put his hands on her to begin with. That's never right. I don't agree with men abusing women in any way, shape, or form. It's never right. And so, to be put in your hands, there's too many women that are losing their lives to these men, and it's happening more and more heinously, you know. And I'm just talking about something separately. Now you got men that, with strangulation. He could have killed her strangling her like that. That's rage. When you strangle somebody, you could easily strangle a woman to death. That's just evil. That's somebody with a lot of rage that like to strangle and go on. Um, so we're gonna keep a close eye on this though, and see how this turns out. Just because the charges get dropped don't mean a damn thing. It just means that they back together. It don't mean what she said happened didn't happen. It just means he sweet talked her on back. And that's what happens oftentimes. And that's how a lot of these young women end up meeting a early demise, because for some reason they think that their abuser will change. These men out here killing these women like 40 going north. And it all starts oftentimes with verbal. Anytime you can catch a man just being verbally abusive to a woman, he will kill a woman. He'll beat a woman. He will. Okay. You have to watch those kind. Okay. And then coupled with somebody that's got a little sickness. This man might have a sickness with there being a history of being accused of this. That's a sickness when you like to sexually assault women. Okay. So we're gonna see. We're gonna keep our eyes, close to this. And this is why I've always talked about abuse, and I've always tried to work with and help battered and abused women. Because just because you're with a man don't mean that he could take it when he get mad or he go get strung out on this stuff, because he go and get high. It don't mean that he could just take it like that. So anyways, we're gonna see. We're gonna follow this, and please like, share, and subscribe. Also, I was weird. I get beside myself. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you would like to give, you can definitely do that. I appreciate you guys so much. Talk to you later.